Ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, listen to me. For the next 3 days, talk to yourself like a king, like a queen, like the chosen one you were created to be, because here's what I know, and you better write this down. You will never rise higher than the words you speak over your own life. Your words shape your world, speak life, not limitations. Your internal dialogue programs your external results. Let me tell you something real, and I want you to catch this because it's one of the most overlooked truths in life. Your words shape your world. I'm not talking about just what you say to other people. I'm talking about the conversations you have with you when nobody's around. That voice in your head, that internal dialogue, it's painting the picture of your future every single day. See, people think words are just noise. They think it's harmless to say, I'm not smart enough, or I always mess things up, or that's just the way I am. But that's not harmless, that's heavy. That's programming, and what you program, you perform. Every word you repeat becomes a brick in the house you're building, for better or worse. Psychologists call this self-fulfilling prophecy. You tell yourself you're not disciplined, and suddenly you've given yourself permission to slack off. You say you're unlucky, and your brain stops looking for opportunity. Why? Because the subconscious mind is obedient. It listens, it records, and it executes. Philosophers for centuries have said that the world is a mirror, and the reflection you get back, it's often just your own beliefs echoing outward. So, when you change the way you speak to yourself, you don't just change your mood, you shift your reality. Here's the truth. You are the narrator of your life, and the story you keep telling yourself, that becomes the script you live out. So stop talking like a victim of your circumstances, and start talking like the architect of your destiny. Speak like you believe in your future, and watch your future start believing in you. Faith comes by hearing. Yourself, what you hear repeatedly, especially from yourself, builds belief or breaks it. Let me tell you something that most people never stop to think about. What you hear, especially from yourself, is shaping what you believe, whether you realize it or not. See, faith, whether it's faith in God, faith in your future, or faith in your own ability, it comes by hearing. That's not just a spiritual principle. That's psychology. That's neuroscience. You ever notice how you can hear a lie long enough that it starts to feel like the truth? That's not an accident, that's repetition, and repetition is how the mind builds belief. The scary part is, the same mechanism that can program you for greatness can also train you for defeat. So if every day you wake up and tell yourself, I'm tired, I'm behind, I never catch a break, guess what? Your brain hears that and starts building a belief system around it. And belief drives behavior. That's how you stay stuck. But flip the script. Start saying, I'm built for this. Every setback is setting me up. I'm learning faster every day. And you start rewiring your mind. You're not just hearing encouragement. You're laying new tracks in your subconscious. You're teaching your brain to expect victory, not chaos. It's not about hype. It's about habit. And one of the most powerful habits you'll ever build is the habit of speaking what you want to hear. Because sooner or later, your mind starts to believe it, your emotions start to feel it, and your actions start to reflect it. If faith comes by hearing, then speak the kind of words you wouldn't mind living in, because eventually you will. Seed, time, harvest principle, what you sow in your mind for 3 days will start to take root. Let's break something down that most people ignore, not because it's hidden, but because it's simple. There's a principle that governs everything in your life, whether you know it or not. It's called seed, time, harvest. And just like in nature, it applies to your thoughts, your words, your actions, all of it. Every time you speak something, you're planting a seed. You might not see the result right away, that's the time apart. And that's where most folks mess up. They plant something positive for a day or two, don't see instant results, and they say, see, this stuff doesn't work. So they stop planting, or worse, they start planting doubt instead. But that's not how growth works. That's not how transformation works. You don't go to the gym once and expect to be ripped. You don't read one book and expect to be wise. And you sure don't speak life for a day and expect your whole situation to shift overnight. That's not reality, that's entitlement. What you put into your mind, what you speak out of your mouth, what you feed your spirit, all of that takes time to develop into something real. But it will grow. That's the law, and the best part. You get to choose the seeds. You want confidence. Plant words of discipline and power. You want peace. Sow gratitude and vision. You want wealth. Speak increase and strategy. But don't stop on day 2. Let time do its part. Keep watering the seed with consistency, because at the end of the day, your future is not a mystery, it's a garden. And what you plant on purpose will grow on purpose if you give it time. Discipline the tongue, master the mind. Taming your speech is the first step to mastering your thoughts. One of the biggest battles you'll ever fight is not out in the world, it's in your own mouth. See, if you can't discipline your tongue, you will never master your mind. That's not just some cute saying, that's psychological fact. Because your words are the steering wheel of your thoughts. The more you say a thing, the more your brain locks in on it, and the more your emotions follow. Now here's what most people do. They speak on autopilot. They say whatever they feel in the moment. I'm stressed, I'm broke, I'm tired. But what they don't realize is they're training their minds to accept chaos as normal. They're building mental habits with every sentence they let fly, and once those habits take root, it gets harder and harder to break out of the cycle. But if you flip that, if you start speaking intentionally, even when your feelings don't line up, that's where the shift begins. When you feel overwhelmed but you say, I've got peace. When you feel pressure but you say, I perform under pressure. That's when you start building a mind that works for you instead of against you. Controlling your tongue ain't about denial, it's about direction. You're not pretending things are perfect, you're declaring where you're headed, and your words are the first act of leadership, self-leadership. So let's get clear, the disciplined tongue leads to a disciplined mind, and a disciplined mind creates a decisive life. You want clarity, you want consistency, start with your mouth. If you can't speak with control, you'll never live with control. So speak like your mind depends on it, because it does. Command, don't complain yourself. Och must give orders to your life, not commentary on your problems. Now, let's get this straight. You were not put here to complain your way into a better life. You were put here to command. And if that makes you uncomfortable, it's probably because you've been trained to react instead of to lead. But let me tell you something. Your words were never meant to just describe your life. They were meant to direct it. Most folks spend their days narrating their problems like a sports commentator. Nothing ever works out for me. This job is draining me. People don't respect me. And then they wonder why their life keeps handing them the same script. It's because their mouth is stuck on the wrong channel. See, complaining is passive. It keeps you focused on what's wrong, and it makes you feel powerless to change it. But when you command, you step into authority. You stop reporting the storm and start declaring the outcome. You say, this season will not break me. You say, I don't chase peace, I carry it. That's a different level of speech. That's ownership, and let me be clear, commanding doesn't mean yelling. It means speaking with intention. It means knowing that your words are not background noise. They are building material. Every command you give yourself is either constructing a future you want or one you'll regret. Life listens to how you speak when you think no one's listening. So stop giving your voice to your problems and start giving it to your purpose. You weren't born to react to life. You were born to rule in it, so speak like someone in charge.